Hello, my lovelies. Welcome back to the channel, wherever you are listening to this, YouTube or the podcast. I wanted to film a video for you, but then I decided we're going to do it as a podcast. There are two reasons. The first one is where I usually film, my neighbors are a little disturbing. So the podcast is probably easier for you because I can film in my little kitchen and we are hopefully not going to be disturbed. Now, I am going to film one video or one podcast, I should say, for each sign. And we are starting with Aries today. This is a general forecast for the year. This is going to be a huge year, a big year. And this is not to scaremonger or to say, oh, whoa. No, but it is going to be a big year. And I don't want to compare to 2020 because then people get scared. They go back and they go into their worst nightmare, and we don't want that. But I have to tell you, this is going to be a life-changing year for all of us, particularly for Pisces and Virgo. I would say, I know we are not talking about Pisces, Virgo right now because you are an Aries rising. But you have Pisces and Virgo in your chart, and that area is going to be transformed. But not only that area, because also all the major planets are having big years. All of them. Not just the node changing signs. We have Neptune change, we have Uranus change, we have Jupiter change, and we have Saturn change signs. And then we will also have a Venus retrograde. Of course, we're going to have the Mercury retrogrades, 3 of them, and Mars is stationing direct because Mars is still retrograde while I am recording this, and probably also when you are going to listen to this. Unless you listen to this in March, then we're out of the Mars retrograde. But let's get into it, okay? And I'm trying to make this relatively short, but still concise and still informative. I want to start with the nodes. What are the nodes doing for you? Like I said, the nodes are going to shift into Pisces and Virgo, and this is going to happen relatively soon. I'm recording this on January 2nd. I think it will actually come out today too. I will probably, most likely, post it today for you, my lovely Aries. So on January 12th, the North Node is going to shift into Pisces and the South Node is moving into Virgo. And they will stay here until July 26, 2026. And this is going to mark a profound shift in our collective and individual journeys for all of us, also for you. And this shift invites us, all of us, to balance the mystical, intuitive qualities of Pisces with the grounded and detail-oriented nature of Virgo. The North Node in Pisces urges us to embrace our spirituality, surrender. Also, it wants us to connect with our compassion and creative flow. And it calls us to trust the universe and lean into our intuition and let go of that rigid control, specifically after Saturn has been in Pisces for a while. We really, with Saturn moving out of Pisces, we will also leave that behind. Maybe not fully, it depends where you're at on your journey, obviously. But that is going to be a big theme here. And then the South Node in Virgo highlights the tendency to overanalyze and criticize and cling to the routines and perfectionism that no longer serves us. And we are asked to release things here as well, right? The clinging and the perfectionism and the overthinking, overanalyzing, going through it again and again and again. We need to learn to trust more, right? And by to trust more, I mean to trust ourselves more. We need to remember that we are the divine embodied in human form. We have the divine flowing through us. And the North Node in Pisces wants to remember or wants to remind us on that. Now for you, my Aries rising, this is going to be a transit in the 12th house and the 6th house. Now we're talking about spirituality, rest, and reconnection to the unseen. The part of us that is really the biggest part of us, but we can't see it. And that's why it's so elusive, right? The elusiveness of Pisces, the elusiveness of the unconscious, the hidden, the realm of the 40, 50, 60. You know, we go into all the D's up there, right? All the possibilities. And you're asked to reconnect with that part of you. And you're also asked to let go of that need to control your day-to-day routines or micromanage every little thing in your life. Also, micromanaging your health. That doesn't mean you shouldn't take care of your body. Of course, take care of your body and your mind. But also don't forget the soul, the spirit, because that's where it all originates. Go back there. Go back to the source. And your growth path, when it comes to this nodal transit, is going to be meditation, dream work, and emotional release. That will help you cultivate your inner peace and trust the flow of life. So if you're not already doing this, I would really recommend to incorporate meditation into your life on a daily basis. Make that a habit. Make that a routine. Morning and evening. And it doesn't have to be an hour. It doesn't have to be an hour. You can start with 10 minutes. Everyone has 10 minutes in the morning. Don't tell me otherwise. You can just get up a little earlier. 10 minutes. It's all it takes to begin with. I believe you will automatically do longer meditation once you really get into it and once you notice the way it nourishes you. But start with 10 minutes. Then let's continue. Mars direct. Let's talk about that. Now, Mars will station direct in February 2025. And it's at the end. Let me just check the date. It's the 24th of February. Now, for you, this transit will occur in the 4th house and the 5th house. And Mars is your ruling planet. So this is a big transit for you. You will notice that your energy levels will rise again. And in Leo, I mean, the retrograde is going to start, or the direct motion is going to start in Cancer, obviously, because Mars retrograde from Leo into Cancer. In Cancer, it highlights your family and home life. What has changed and shifted within you when it comes to your family and your home life? Have you decided to move? Have you decided to change things up in your family, in your home? And now it is time to put things into action. And when I talk action, I mean taking bold action. Also, in Leo, the direct motion is emphasizing creative projects, your children, but also romance, love, romantic love. Maybe there is a new love interest. Maybe you reviewed an old love interest, and maybe this is going to come back into your life in a changed way. Because remember, it can only enter your life in a changed way. Otherwise, things will not work because they haven't worked before, right? That otherwise it wouldn't be your ex. So look into that and then again take bold action, specifically in the areas where you felt blocked. And you probably felt blocked in the area of family, home, and also your love life. So the focus is on creativity, romance, and emotional stability within the home and within yourself. Now, Venus retrograde is going to occur this year it starts on March, and it is occurring in Pisces and also in Aries. It will start in Aries and then move back into Pisces. So this is going to be a big transit for you too, obviously, specifically if you are a late degree Aries. But I would say generally this is true for all Aries. You will all be affected by this transit. Now, and by affected, I mean more affected than the other 10 signs. So Aries and Pisces, this is your moment, my loves, in love, right? Your moment in love. And we're talking love on all levels, self-love, and then the connection you have with others. Now, generally, or the general effects of this transit will be obviously relationship reassessment. Existing relationships might face challenges, and by that I don't want to say every relationship is going to go or has issues now just because Venus is in retrograde. Of course, that is not true. But what you will reassess is, is the way this is working still actually working for me? What do we have to shift and change? Because to make a relationship last means we have to grow it. Maybe we have to continuously grow the relationship. And I love Venus retrograde because it always is a prompting to just look at it. Of course, you can look at your relationships, at any point. Of course, you don't have to wait for Venus retrograde. But this is always a good marker to just remind yourself, let's have a look. How have we grown? Are we evolving? Where are we going together? And you want to reevaluate your commitments and your desire. Again, I'm not saying you want to reevaluate like leaving the relationship or should I stay? Should I go? No. That might be true for some people, but that is not the point here. The point is reevaluate where you're at with the relationship and how you've growing and where you want to grow or what you want to grow into now. You also probably are going to revisit past connections. Encounters with past lovers or friends as well are very common during that time. And this offers you the opportunity to well, shall we say foreclosure and renewal as well. But you have to go into it with your consciousness, right? Your conscious mind, not with your past being, the one you were when you were in that relationship before, right? Like this is a new relationship, even if that person was in your past. Now, you might have to also understand that there is no relationship anymore with that past lover. They might come into your life and you realize, look, that nothing has changed. I can't, it's like we're going to do the same dance again. And that dance didn't work for us. We don't want to dance the tango anymore. Maybe you want to dance the waltz now. But that person still wants to come in with the tango. And we have to say, no tango for me anymore. Then also financial reflections. It's a period to reconsider your spending habits, your investments, and your financial priorities. And then last but not least, I should have mentioned that first, self-worth valuation. And I'm talking the internal here, right? I'm not talking anything related to your valuables, the things you own or your money. No, your personal values and your self-esteem may come into focus, and it's going to encourage your inner growth. But the understanding here is like my self-worth is inherent. I am worthy before anything. That understanding, you come into this physical existent, into this human body as a worthy soul. And you don't have to prove that to anyone, right? It's the isness, it's the beingness. You don't have to do to be, you have to be, and then you do from the being, from the knowing that you're worthy. Now you do, and now you do with your trust and your knowing that you're good enough. And then also, the action that you take, the doing that you do is going to be inspired, and it's going to be much more fun, and it's going to flow naturally. And from that you create like the things that are actually lasting. Now, for you, this aspect is going to obviously start in your first house. With Venus retrograding in your sign, well, expect introspection about personal desires and how you present yourself to the world, but also in your relationships. It is time to reassess your approach to love and self-expression. And then when we look at it from the perspective of, this happening in Pisces, in your 12th house, well, again, we are going back to what we talked about earlier. We're going to the 12th house, right? Remember, the 12th house is going to be a big focus point for you this year into next year. And what I said earlier is true here as well. Meditation is going to be a best friend. It is going to be a best friend in terms of growth and evolution and getting where you want to go, by understanding that you already there in the spiritual realm. You just have to allow it into the physical. And I understand that we as human beings have sometimes a difficulty really understanding that. It's just so elusive. But once you grasp it, you light up. You will light up, and you'll just gonna be the fireball, like especially you as an Aries rising. So let's. I could go on to here forever. I could go on forever, but I don't like. I'm gonna have a separate video for this once we get to this transit in March. So I'm not going to. This is just a little overview. Now let's talk about the Mercury retrograde. We're actually not going to go into it deeply. We will just we'll just have a quick look when we have the retrogrades. Let me just really quick pull this up, because obviously I did not prepare this properly. I have everything pulled up, but not this one. Let me see. So, I can already tell you that the first retrograde is going to be in March, mid-March, March 15th, for 3 weeks. So we will start the pre-shadow phase March 1st, so when Venus moves into retrograde. Then the retrograde starts March 15th, and the stationing phase, station direct, is going to be in Pisces, 26 degrees of Pisces, April 7th. So your first house and your 12th house, of course, is going to be affected here. So the retrograde is in Aries and Pisces. Then the second one is July 18th to August 11th. This is going to be all in Leo. This is going to be actually a beautiful time for you, I think. You will really thrive in this one. Then November 9th to November 29th, we have the Mercury retrograde, the third Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius and in Scorpio. This one, I think, is also going to be very interesting for you. It might be a little more aggravating, but I think generally the retrogrades this year, the first one is probably going to get to you the most, as in, you really have to understand something about yourself where you really need to shift and change in order for you to align with the thing you want in your life. So, and I love that this is actually happening earlier this year for you. And then, from there, I'm not saying it's smooth sailing, but, when it comes to your mercurial energies, it will flow a little more. Now let's talk about Neptune in Aries. Neptune is going to move into Aries this year. It will go back into Pisces for a moment later this year, but this is a really important transit, because this is a transit that then will last until March 2039. So, guys, can we even imagine? This is just so far away, seemingly, right? But what is this transit going to have in store for you? Well, this is one of the biggest transits for you, right? The coming years, the next, 15 years? How many is this? 15 years? Almost. Big years for you. Neptune in Aries, your sign. It's an era of bold vision and spiritual leadership. And when I say this, I'm talking to you, Aries. That's why I kept talking about meditation as well. Like the spiritual leadership, specifically, you are, you are the ones that are called forth. And the focus here is self-identity and personal power and your vision, because this is a first house transit for you, my lovely Aries rising. Neptune is entering the first house and brings a period of profound self-discovery. And again, I don't know, I'm like a broken record. Meditation. You're going to be your best friend. You're going to get your best ideas coming out of meditation. That your understanding of the world will shift completely. And I mean completely. Also, your understanding of yourself, your self-identity will shift and change in a way that I think you can't really imagine right now, because we're talking about Neptune. So you may feel drawn to redefine your identity, and that might already be the case. But how that actually is going to unfold, that, my dear friends, that's going to be, I think it's going to be incredible. I'm not saying that it will always be easy, because Neptune can blur our vision a little bit, or a lot. But it's, again, if you can find a way to reconnect through yourself, or to yourself through meditation, I mean, this is going to be incredible. I mean, you may feel drawn, like I already said, to redefine your identity and then also embrace a visionary and compassionate leadership role. And while this transit enhances your charisma, it also calls for discernment. Of course, right? You know me. I'm all for being delusional, right? I'm absolutely. But you got to still be honest with yourself. And not honest as in thinking your way through it, but intuitive knowing and understanding when you do things that are not right for you and others. Right? That's where the discernment needs to come in. So I think that's all I want to say for this aspect, because of course we will have a separate video for this when the time is right. And by the time is right, what I mean is when this transit is actually occurring. It will start March 30th, so you will get that video in the middle of March. Now, let's continue with Saturn. Now, Saturn is also going to play with you, my lovely Aries, because Saturn is moving into Aries. And here we are talking about bold commitments and focused attention. Now, this is going to be a big time, big lessons and learnings in the next 3 years, my lovelies. And they may not always feel soft and cozy, those lessons. Those lessons may feel a little harsh at times. But if you remind yourself that this is all for your good, right? This is not against you. This is not life trying to be hard with you. No, this is for your good. Then you will come out of this transit with flying colors. Now, this transit is going to start May 24th, 2025. It is ushering in a period of discipline, structure, responsibility, right? That is sometimes not necessarily the forte of Aries, because Aries just wants to do. Let's just go with it. Let's just do it, right? It's like, it always reminds me on the Nike ad. Just do it. Like, just go. Let's just go. Let's not think about it anymore. Let's just go and do it. But Saturn comes in and said, well, we got to do this responsibly. And that can sometimes feel a little annoying, to put it mildly. So Saturn in Aries is asking us to take bold and purposeful steps. Purposeful. And in order for things to be purposeful, we got to really be connected, right? We got to be connected. And that's what we just learned in Pisces, with Saturn in Pisces, the connection. For you, Saturn was just in Pisces in your 12th house. Now, you were asked to reconnect with your purpose there. So in order to commit to personal leadership and independence, you really have to be connected to your purpose. Otherwise, you might just follow someone else's idea of what is right. So Saturn will test your patience and your resilience, and is going to require you to balance your impulsive actions with calculated efforts. So the focus for you is going to be your personal growth, self-discipline, and again, identity, right? This is like a lot is happening in your first house this year, as you probably realized already. A lot going on in this area. So your personal identity, the way you identify your self-image, is going to be a big theme and going to a big transformation. So with Saturn in your first house challenges you, or let's say Saturn in your first house challenges you to take a responsibility for your self-image and your personal goals. And, you can't blame others why this and that is happening. And you got to stop that. We got to stop like saying, oh, because of this, I can't do that. This needs to stop. With Saturn is not going to have it. You're saying, oh, I would love to do this, but I can't because this and that. No, that's not going to fly anymore. It is also time to redefine your leadership skills and embrace the discipline needed to shape your life intentionally. Like I already said, this transit may feel heavy at times, but ultimately will strengthen your character and your resilience. Now, I have two more for you. We can run through them really quick. Uranus and Gemini. So, Uranus in Gemini, for me, that whole transit is all about evolution of consciousness. Did I just say this right? Consciousness. I can't wait for this transit. I'm very, very excited about this because we are here. What we have here is the lower mind meeting the higher mind, like the merging of the lower and the higher mind. I mean, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Now, what does it mean for you? Well, for you, this transit is occurring in your third house and is going to encourage you to, well, let me rephrase that actually. First of all, you should prepare for a surge of intellectual energy because the third house is, our thinking mind. It represents our thinking mind, but also it represents the way we communicate with the people around us, our social circle. And you might want to attract a different social circle, more intellectual. You want to have, you might want to have people in your life that think around the box or outside of it. Isn't that the saying? Oh, yeah, that's the saying. Think outside the box, right? That's what you want. And Uranus here is encouraging breakthroughs in communications, in learning, and then also in relationship with your immediate family, specifically siblings. If you have them, of course, if you don't, then that might not be true for you. But you have aunts and uncles, I assume, and they also fall into this area. And the big one here is that I would say to you, take risks in sharing your voice. Speak up. I mean, generally, it's not difficult for you to speak up. But I think the speaking up is going to be on a different level now. And that will probably be fueled by your new social circle as well. And maybe you're going to speak up in different circles. Newfound confidence when it comes to what you actually have to say. Last but not least, let's really quick look into Jupiter in Cancer. Jupiter is going to move into Cancer in June 9th. And for you, this is, of course, the fourth house. Now, this transit brings growth in your home and family. That can actually literally mean a new family member. This can mean a bigger home. This can mean, new people moving into your home. Generally, it's just expansion in what home means to you. Your physical home, right? Your house that you live in, but also your family. Maybe you want to move abroad. That could also be something that this aspect brings. It also strengthens your family connections. Jupiter loves Cancer. Jupiter is exalted here. This is a really beautiful transit for you, especially when it comes to family, reconnecting with family, just strengthening the family relationships. And what I would ask you to do during the retrograde phase that will come at the end of the year, reflect on your emotional foundation and heal unresolved family issues. That's going to be a topic here. Because with Jupiter, it's a perfect time to do that with Jupiter. Now, this is probably longer than I expected it to be, but it is what it is. If you have any questions about this transit, please feel free to comment in the comment section. If you would like a personal reading, you can always message me or you can book directly. There's a link in the description box. And other than that, I wish you a beautiful year full of growth, evolution, and new ideas, new experiences, new people in your life, new excitement, and of course also health and joy and love. Okay, my lovelies, I will talk to you in the next video.